I just walk into places and I'm like, can I have a job? On paper, I looked way worse than what I am in person, and it can be vice versa.
Yeah.
I always sit with people and do a vibe check.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?
Restaurant Punk!
Restaurant Punk.
Welcome.
Restaurant Punk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't think she was going to do it.
Welcome.
She did it.
I heard the
I'm
screams.
impressed.
I did.
Good job. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
I have
What
to
a
do this.
pleasure.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. It's been
Love
months.
being here.
I
Love
feel like
being
I
here.
haven't seen you in forever and a day.
It has been a minute, but it seems right. I feel like maybe because Halloween is approaching
That's what it is, because I think it was last Halloween
that
Yeah.
you guys were at the Halloween party.
at your place,
No,
right?
that was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
It might have been 2 years
But
ago.
I feel like I saw you still around this time. Like we were randomly up in Summers Point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But still, it's been too long.
It's been too long.
That Halloween party was fun. We had such
it was
a good time.
lit. It's so fun.
It was so good. And that was at your place, correct?
Yes.
And where's that? What is it? What's it called?
Hangtime Bar and Grille.
In
Galloway.
Galloway Township.
Yes.
I mean,
It's
it
not
I
was,
that
still
far.
haven't been.
it was,
You haven't?
I haven't
Oh,
been.
man. You got to come on down.
It
I
was
know.
great. It was such a good time.
I just like it's very rare when I leave the Cape May bubble.
I get that.
You
Are
know?
you doing a Halloween party this year?
Yes.
There you go. We should go
right.
this year.
Good excuse.
Yeah. So you'll be there.
It's great.
We'll check
It's
it
a
out.
fun
Throw Pete in
time.
a costume.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You've been a business owner for quite some time,
Yes.
correct? And I met you through Pete.
Yes.
And Pete's one of my greatest friends.
Bestest
Well, I don't know
friends.
because you guys didn't respond to one of my texts the other day, and I'm like a little bit iffy about
The
if you're
nerve.
going to be best anyway. But anyway, regardless. And we came up to your place, and it was a wonderful place.
Thank you.
And you're running it. You're the owner. You're
My brother and I, yeah.
yeah, but you're like the face is you. That's all I've ever known about you and your face. And I'm sure your brother does back of the house, maybe.
Yes, we both. It's like divvied. But he is definitely more back of house. I'm a little bit more front of house. Yeah, it takes a village, man. It really
it sure
does.
does.
It takes a village.
It sure does.
We're really lucky. We have amazing staff, and we have staff that's been with us for a really long time.
Good.
Because we're small. We're not a big place. Like I have 15 employees. You know, like it's tiny.
It's not that small, but it's. I know what you're saying, but when you're walking in there and the energy, you feel like it's big. And
Yeah.
that's huge. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's always
I
a
don't know.
positive
Everyone just kind
atmosphere.
of meshes really well together, which is like
Well,
number one.
I feel like it's very important with culture, just like overall. Like
yeah.
we've talked about it on another topic. Like you could have one person who's really good at their job, but they poison the rest, and like you're holding everybody else back in that aspect. So like you have a team that works hard together and like works for each other as well. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
I think it's also really big that my brother and I view the business as our baby. So like, sure, do maybe sometimes we need to like scale back a little bit and like not be so like hovering helicopter parents, because that's definitely still instilled in us.
course.
But the fact that the whole staff sees us as like very hands-on, like we're not afraid to bust the table or like put dishes in the rack. So I think the rest of the staff seeing that, whether you're old or new, it's just like,
We've,
all right, we're all on the same
We've touched on
wavelength.
that, like the respect that your staff gives you when you roll your sleeves up and
Yeah.
do something that
Huge.
they don't even want to do.
Huge.
But they see you stepping in and doing that, even though you're above them
Right.
in that sense. You
Because
know,
at the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's like you're only going to make the guest experience that much better, lending that extra hand. Like it's only helping yourself at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Have you been reading my diary? Because I'm telling
No,
you,
but I
it's-
watch this. I
it's
watch this
amazing.
podcast very often, which is why like I'm so glad that I got to come back, because I was like, damn, this is so relatable. Like I'm so happy that this is happening. People in the industry need to talk about this stuff.
Yeah,
They do.
absolutely.
And I like it as therapy sessions, in my opinion, just being able
Yeah.
to talk about it with different things
Absolutely.
and, get the feedback. So you're in the front of the house. I mean, you're both for everything, but you're the front mostly and your brother's in the back of the house. So my question for today is, when you're hiring people for the front of the house, what do you prefer, males or females for your serving staff?
I don't have a preference, male or female. I really don't. For a bus person or bar back, I do prefer a male because they're changing kegs.
Okay.
Honestly, it comes down to like, I don't mean to like reiterate, but it's just like how well you gel.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
always about how the vibe is and the flow
You know,
and everything.
obviously, I do think if you're a female, you get tipped better.
Well, it depends on the scenario, correct? Depends on if you are a bartender being a female, but you have male guests, but usually sometimes it's the other way around.
True.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I'll tell you what, working with Ozzy, man, was a tough competition.
Hills.
Like, I can't tell you how many nights that man put me under the table in tips. And he's just a teddy bear. Like, he's so freaking likable. And not that I'm not, like, I think I'm a very, like, approachable, likable person, especially when I'm serving. But, like, I don't know what kind of magic this man brings to everybody's experiences. And, like, I will just sit there and listen to him talk because I'm like, what's the formula? Like, I don't understand. But that being said, I have an entire female staff. Not by choice.
Yeah.
It's just happened that way.
Front of the house staff.
Front of the house
Our
staff.
front of house is also majority female.
Even our kitchen is split male-female. We always have a female in the kitchen.
Okay.
Love that.
But you're a sports bar too, correct?
So our bar tends to be obviously a little bit heavily male skewed.
The bar's male skewed.
Yeah, it's probably 70-30.
Are you talking about
Male
clientele or employee?
I'm sorry, clientele.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So-
it's female bartenders
Yep.
most likely. Okay. Which will make
Sports,
sense
beer,
for that specific
Go
scenario.
sports.
Yeah, go sports.
Go sports.
Taylor Swift was at a football game this
Oh
week.
my God, you Taylor Swift fanatics. Please.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, even Yanni has spoken to me. He's like, you need a male in here. I'm like, great, find me one. Since I opened my door, I've had nothing but females flood into here. Now, I don't know, because Peter and I run, just like you and your brother run the restaurant together, Peter and I run it together. I am way more prominently front of house than I am back of house.
Right.
And I think because of that, I definitely am more of the face of Petunia. And even when people walk in for jobs, they don't go to Peter for a job. Even if they did, Peter would be like, go to Noelle.
Yeah.
So I think that just naturally being a female, like, I would love to work for females. Like, I'm a girl's girl. And I don't know. It's just maybe because I've worked in a male-led industry my like entire life that it's refreshing to have a female sometimes be your boss. But it just naturally happens. Like, I never was like, no boys, this is an all-girl.
Yeah. I can say for my brother and I, our roles we never were like, okay, you do this and you do that. It just, I think our strengths came out as time went on.
And it naturally evolved that way.
Right. That I just like happened to be front of house and I was like, okay, like scheduling, like any sort of issue dissolved at a table. Like it just kind of, that was more of like my strength, like off the back.
Yes.
And then whereas him, like back of house with like expo and like our back of house is all male. So I definitely think that him as a male, it's like there's a little bit more of respect and seriousness there. I think that's just like the way the world is,
Which is
unfortunately.
bullshit. I
It is
agree.
bullshit.
No,
but
it's
like,
bullshit, but it's
I
understandable.
think,
Yeah.
like I said, we're very lucky that like everybody gels very well, but like, especially for our parents' restaurant, which is on a even larger scale and their kitchen is 3 times the size of the sports bar, like having that male back there, it's just, everyone is in tip top shape and it's different if it were a female.
No, I mean, I completely agree. I'll look at the kitchen window and I'm like, hey, why? Like, it's been, 30 minutes since this bread order was put in. What the hell is going on? And they'll look at me as if it's a server issue. Like, this is like on you, I'll get to it. And Peter comes up into the window and he was like, hey, this is completely unacceptable. Get me bread right now. They're like, okay, I'm on it. And it's like,
it sucks.
I'm sorry.
It sucks.
It sucks. But at the end of the day, we shift. Like, I couldn't imagine, for instance, like Jenny or Heather. Well, Heather has her husband in the kitchen. But like, I know that Jenny has struggled with the males in her kitchen because she's just there by herself. It's not like George is there holding her hand. She's doing it. So she had to fight her way to get the respect from the kitchen. It's so difficult. And it does suck that it has to be that way, but that's unfortunately the way it is.
Yeah,
it wasn't until Peter looked at them and was like, she can fire you too. You need to listen to her.
Oh, yeah.
To where they even started to kind of listen.
Yeah. And the topic wasn't sexist at all. It was more on the aspect of, when you do the hiring, do you hire more females than males specifically? Because, where you're located and what your business is about is tending more to males or female clientele. So you being a sports bar, there's plenty of females fans, don't get me wrong. And there's going to be females going there with their boyfriends, their husbands, whatever, their brothers. But when you're putting a specific sex back there, that tends more to the opposite sex sometimes is a better thing almost, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
So I was just curious For me, it's majority males, and it's not because that's what I choose. It's just that's what flocks to me. You know what I mean? And I've had many great servers, you being one of the best, and you're not there anymore, but regardless. And I know that other places have more female servers. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, when you're doing the hiring, but specifically for certain restaurants or businesses, do you tend to lean more to the one side than the other?
No.
So you're just an overall, whatever, if you're doing your job great, okay.
Yeah, if I have 2 applications in front of me and one is male and one is female, I look to see if they have any restaurant experience at all.
Yeah, their credentials.
And it doesn't even have to be anything crazy. I've never called for a reference, like ever, and like checked in on somebody. I've never done that.
But she will from now on because she said that. Just letting you know, don't get away with it.
And then I do a quick 5-minute interview just to feel the vibe, and then I'll just go off with who I gel with better. And on paper and meeting them in person, 2 different monsters.
Different, absolutely.
So no, I think just because it is a sports bar, it tends to just have more females that work there. But I've never batted an eye over if it should be male or female.
It's crazy because even you were just saying you look at a piece of paper and you're like, oh, okay, this person's obviously built better, they have more experience or whatever. But you can meet them in person and be like, damn, on paper, you looked so much better. And then in real life, you lied on your job application kind of thing. Because even I would remember getting a job at this huge venue in Austin. They entertained the idea of hiring me. I had a phone interview and then they called me in, and after the interview they me and this other girl were competing for this job, and they sat me down and they were like, we're gonna be straight up honest with you, your resume sucks. We weren't going to hire you. It was kind of just a formality. This recruiter brought you in, we're gonna meet with them and we're gonna brush you off to the side, but we're hiring you. Because in person, your resume does blow because you don't have, I don't even think I just typed it right. I just walk into places and I'm like, can I have a job? On paper, I looked way worse than what I am in person, and it could be vice versa.
Yeah.
I always sit with people and do a vibe check. I'll ask them random questions and just see how comfortable
you want
they are.
to check them out.
Yeah,
if you're coming, it's a sports bar. I'm not saying come in a gown or 3-piece suit or anything.
But how do you show up to an interview? How do you want to be
showered?
Yeah, how do you want to be respected? Because appearances, you have to be respectable. You know what I mean? If you walk in and you look like you don't take care of yourself at all, and you didn't even try to impress in the slightest to an interview, then how are you going to show up to work?
Right.
Yeah, which also sucks because sometimes it's also judging a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? Not disagreeing with you, but I know there's a lot of hard workers that are phenomenal at what they do and above and beyond some of the best people out there, but they just don't know that common sense respect line of I should shower, I should be more presentable when I'm first meeting somebody. And it's a shame. They need that lesson taught to hey, this is what we're looking for regardless. And you should at least make that extra step.
Yeah.
But we've touched on another subject before, another topic, another episode, I should say, where I don't really hire for what the paper says. It's great to see it, but I hire you because of your personality, how you can engage with customers, how you can react to a certain scenario. You may be sweet when I'm talking to you, but are you going to freak the F out because, you drop something and then you're cursing up a storm in front of everybody? That's right. It's all about the personality.
That's probably the second question I ask is how they do under pressure. Because I'm this place can change like that. Any place, any restaurant. You could all be sitting there twiddling your thumbs and then boom. So it's can you keep your cool? Because I'm going to throw you to the wolves and I need to know you can keep your cool.
But see, that's also a tricky question because anybody could be yes, I do well under pressure. The one thing I did with 2 of the girls that I interviewed, I was just okay, so say table 7 didn't like this. How do you go about that? I asked them more in depth, if something goes wrong, here, role play, here's a scenario, how do you fix it? How would you think to fix it? Right? If you were to be here, what would you do? Just to kind of gauge it.
That's smart.
Because then it's okay, this is an actual problem that happens every now and again. Sure and if does. I'm not here, and it's funny, there's one girl that I didn't ask that question. She was a referral from 2 other people that work for me. Something happened and she was and I was damn, I didn't ask her that question because in that moment, I can also say, this is how I want you to handle that. If you're working here, I expect you to not immediately run to a manager. Obviously, if a manager is needed, please do. But I need to also trust that you can handle these circumstances as they arise.
It's a smart thing
Smart.
to do. Very smart.
Little role play.
Very smart. All right. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, and I'm so happy that you're here today because, like I said, I haven't seen you forever, and you're good people.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, this was a good one. Thank you.
Thank
Again,
you.
it was nice to see you.
I know, so nice to see you.
One more time, if you want to, shout out your restaurant and bar.
Oh, that's Hangtime Bar and Grille in Galloway. Good food, good
New
people.
Jersey.
New Jersey, yes.
Off of Route 30.
Off of Route 30.
Wonderful.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
I'm Nikos.
Noelle.
Patrizia.
Bye.
Awesome. Bye.
Am I Taylor Swift?
Definitely not. But close.
You're so vain.
Oh, this poor kid, I just yelled at his ear.
Bye.
What you got? What do you want?